All right, so I want to do something a little different today. I know normally I do my push-up videos on Wednesdays. I'll probably record one later, or I'm going to record it tomorrow morning. I haven't decided which. Didn't sleep well last night, but yesterday was a very big day in the political world here in the U.S. And I had originally started this YouTube channel years and years and years and years ago and never done anything with it where I wanted to talk about politics. I wanted to have a discussion forum. This was before Twitch was really a big thing, for differing political views, because I have been all over the political spectrum in my life. Started as a registered Democrat when I graduated high school in 2000, was first registered as a Democrat, then became a registered Republican right around 2006, because I just didn't find that the Democratic Party really fit with my current worldviews. And then right around 2012, became a registered libertarian, and really have embraced the libertarian mindset of personal responsibility, fiscal conservatism, social liberalism. You do you, your body, your choice, for not just abortions. It's not just an abortion thing. It's a lot of different things. And I can get into what libertarianism means to me in a different video. But in my Twitch stream yesterday, was trying to talk about Super Tuesday. And I've got a lot of people that watch that don't necessarily know what Super Tuesday is, what that means, how that goes into our political process. So I guess first thing that I'll answer is, what is Super Tuesday? So Super Tuesday is, no matter who the challenging party is, because the assumption always is when you have an incumbent president that they are going to win the party's nomination. So Super Tuesday really means more to the party that is not currently in power. As much as people might want to say we are a multi-party system, the United States has become a two-party system where it is just a conglomerate of all different beliefs, and it either fits under one umbrella of Republican or Democrat. So Super Tuesday was huge for the Democratic National Party because they are trying to narrow down the field of who's going to run against Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is essentially running unopposed. No real challenger has come out, and no real reason to have anybody else challenge him has come out. So Super Tuesday was huge for the Democrats because it is the day in the primary season when the most delegates are up for grabs. I think about 1/3 of the total number of delegates is up for grabs. So the states that are up for grabs every Super Tuesday change year to year. This started back in 1984 and has happened with every election since. Now, the states aren't always the same because each state selects their own. The the problem that I have with the current process came to light, and I alluded to this on Twitter, came to light this year when some of the states that went up for Super Tuesday had to have their early voting selections in February 3rd. February 3rd. It happened to be a month before. And as I had said on Twitter, the candidates that people used their vote for aren't even in the election, potentially. Real potential candidates. You had people like Tom Steyer, who I don't think anybody actually saw as a real legitimate candidate. But you had Yang, Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg. 3 real legitimate contenders for the nomination, one of whom had won one of the states. When it came to the number of delegates, split the delegates with Bernie Sanders. So that gets into the question, what are delegates? All right. Here's where it gets tricky. And that's the unfortunate thing. What a delegate does and how they give their vote differs from the Republican and the Democratic Party. Now, what a delegate is a person that is either appointed or elected by the state's party. So the Democratic Party of the state, the Republican Party of the state, to represent that state's voter base in selecting who will represent the party in the presidential election. How each party does it is different. How each state does it is different. There's no really generally accepted level for how a delegate is actually appointed. Some are elected. That's very rare. Most are appointed. And it's usually who you know. It's usually relatives, friends, acquaintances, things like that. It's all very backroom. Adam Conover in Adam Ruins Everything did a great episode about this whole process. So go look that up. I don't agree with a lot of things that he says, but the research is solid. Then there used to be these things called superdelegates. That was a Democratic thing. When the National Democratic Party elite, and when I say elite, I'm not ivory tower. No, the elite meaning the upper echelons of the party, the higher ups, felt that it was Jimmy Carter, and I forget who they had appointed before that. They felt Jimmy Carter wasn't experienced enough. He won, but they felt he wasn't experienced enough. So they made the superdelegate to be able to step in and cast a vote that counted more than the regular delegate. So if they didn't like who it looked like was going to be elected, they could step in and be like, no. You don't know what you're talking about. We know what you need. And it's this person. This came to a head last election with Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, where it looked like Bernie Sanders was going to take the nomination. And the party went, let's give all the superdelegates to Hillary Clinton. Hillary won, and we all know what happened. They have done away with superdelegates for this election. Those are gone. Now, that is the same between Republican and Democrat. Now, how the delegates cast their vote is different between each party. Democrats use what's called the proportional method, and basically each candidate that receives a vote from the state is awarded a number of delegates proportional to their support in the state caucus. And I had to look up the math for this because this is where it gets really confusing. So, for example, consider a state with 20 delegates at a Democratic convention with 3 candidates, which essentially we have come down to. Mike Bloomberg dropped out today, as he should have. He should have dropped out long before. And pushed his support behind Biden. So you've got Joe Biden this is perfect. You've got Joe Biden, you've got Bernie Sanders, and you still have Elizabeth Warren hanging on. If candidate A, let's say Biden, receives 70% of all caucus and primary votes, candidate B 20%, and candidate C 10%, candidate A would get 14 delegates, B would get 4, and C would get 2. So it's a proportional method. It's not winner takes all. That's how the Democrats do it. The Republicans, you can do either winner takes all or you can do a proportional method. Each state gets to make that choice, whether it be the proportional or the winner takes all. With the winner takes all, you get the most votes, you get all the delegates. That's it. Done. End of sentence. It's clean. It's easy. Boom. The fact that there's no standardization is a little awkward to me, and the fact that it differs from state to state is awkward to me, because here's the other wrinkle in this whole scenario. And that's that just because a person wins in a specific state, whether it be winner take all or it be proportional, in some states, the delegates are not bound to make that vote. Some states, it's pledged, that's it. You have to vote for that person. In other states, they're unbound. The actual word is escaping me. They don't have to vote for who the people voted for, which is fucking bonkers to me. Pardon my French. This will never be monetized. It's going to be monetized anyway. And it's up to a state by state decision as to whether or not. And I can guarantee you, most people don't know if their delegates are pledged or unbound. And I think that's the biggest problem that I have with the political process today, is that people are so disengaged with it on either side. And the fact that people don't understand how this all works on the state level, I think, is the biggest problem, and why voter numbers, except for 2008 with Barack Obama's first term, voter numbers have been plummeting year over year since the 80s. And it's certainly not because the problems have become less dire. It's because, and this is a personal anecdote, you hear, or I hear overwhelmingly, I don't care. I'm going to keep living my life. See, you're not. Not as you know it. The change may not be felt right away, but you're going to feel it. And I'll get into how you're going to feel it in another video. But that's the basic overview, a real 10-minute, maybe, I don't even know how long this is yet. I haven't edited it. View into, okay, what's Super Tuesday? What are delegates? Why are they important? And why do I think they're terrible? Why do I think they're awful? I really genuinely think they're terrible. If you've got something you want me to go over, if you've got something that you've always wondered about, just leave me a comment below. Come watch me on Twitch. I'm live like 5 days a week. I love talking politics. I love hearing opposing points of view. I'm never going to shout down someone if they have an opposing point of view, because I find you learn things by talking to people that you don't necessarily agree with. And that's the biggest thing that I feel like we're not doing as a society anymore. And I've said it to several different people. People want to be right. They want to be heard, and they want to be right. They don't want to listen. And it's the biggest shift I have seen in our society in every election that I have voted in. And I have voted in every election since 1999, with the 2001 election. I voted in every single election. I have voted for Republicans. I've voted for Democrats. And you know what? Last election, I voted for libertarians, not because I liked Gary Johnson and Bill Weld, because they're not real libertarians, but because I thought, hey, if there's ever a time for a third party, now's the time. Let's get that 3%. No. But anyway, that's my first dive into the political videos. Just a quick overview. Super Tuesday, delegates. Look for more. I'm probably going to do one a week, one every other week. I also want to get some political podcasts things going where I'm going to have a couple people in to talk to. about politics, about Chosen, because now is when the political process really starts ramping up. And I started online in politics, and I got into games and music, and I want to kind of throw my hat back into politics, but in an entertaining and educational fashion. So yeah, thank you for watching. Come watch me on Twitch. Come follow me on Twitter. Or just look out for these videos. Smash whatever button people tell you to smash. Subscribe. And it's greatly appreciated. I'll see everybody later.